American Silver Eagle. To receive your free American Silver Eagle, call 800-780-9000. That's 800-780-9000. Or visit TII1.com.
Wells Fargo has been handed a $1 billion fine for mortgage and loan abuses. In September of 2016, the bank paid $100 million in fines after employees opened more than 3 million bank and credit card accounts without customer authorization. Now, 2 federal regulators are fining the bank for charging 570,000 clients for car insurance that they didn't need and charging fees to 110,000 mortgage customers for missing deadlines that would have locked in mortgage rates. An actress from the TV series Smallville has pled not guilty to sex trafficking charges in New York. WCBS TV's Jessica Layton.
The details in this case are just so sick and twisted. Prosecutors say Allison Mack was recruiting women from here in Brooklyn to join this so-called empowerment group in upstate New York before turning them into sex slaves.
This is USA Radio News.
The following update is for drivers who pay too much for car insurance due to DUIs, DWIs, tickets, or anything else. Our company specializes in low-cost SR22 auto insurance. We know that mistakes happen and offer free quotes for very affordable auto insurance meant specifically for you, the overpaying high-risk driver. The quote is free, and we'll handle the filing so you can start saving money. Call 800-758-0725. 800-758-0725. 800-758-0725.
Many pro-rights gun groups are questioning the accuracy of a new poll on gun control. Here's USA's Chris Barnes.
The ABC News Washington Post poll claims 62% of Americans now support a nationwide ban on the sale of assault weapons, up sharply from 50% in February, that 72% support raising the legal age to buy rifles and shotguns, and that 57% of Americans now say enacting laws to prevent gun violence is a higher priority than protecting the right to own a gun. For USA Radio News, I'm Chris Barnes.
Tim Bergling, the Swedish DJ and electronic dance music producer who rose to the fame under the stage name Avicii, was found dead on Friday in Muscat, the capital of Oman. The death was confirmed by a spokeswoman, Diana Barron, who didn't specify what the cause was. The family is devastated, and we ask everyone to please respect their need for privacy in this difficult time, she said. Avicii's songs have been streamed more than 1 billion times on Spotify. He was nominated for 2 Grammy Awards for Best Dance Recording in 2012 and 13. Avicii retired from international touring in 2016 after a series of health scares. For USA Radio News, I'm Wendy King.
Greece is cheap.
But the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
Not much closer, and again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-217-5107. 800-217-5107. 800-217-5107. That's 800-217-5107.
Welcome to the Garden America Radio Show, the country's most listened to gardening program. This is your chance to talk about gardening, horticulture, landscaping, in fact, anything that has to do in the world of gardening. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or send us your questions and comments to john@gardenamerica.com. Now, here's Bryan, Maine, John Bagnasco, and Tiger Palafox on Biz Talk Radio and the Garden America Radio Network.
And just in the nick of time, Tiger grabbed his headphones. He is ready to go. We are ready to go. Happy Saturday morning. Happy weekend. Thank you so much for watching us, tuning in on Facebook Live. however you listen to us, streaming here in San Diego on AM 1240. Later on this afternoon, the replay also here in SoCal, Los Angeles, and surrounding areas on AM 740. I'm Bryan Main, talking Palafox. John Bagnasco. This is Garden America, ready for a great show today. Tiger, you look tanned.
Yeah, well, it's sunny out here. And
it is nice.
It's really nice weather, so I've been outside a lot. Everybody's in the mood for gardening here in Southern California now.
Yep.
So I've been real busy visiting people's yards, checking out what's going on. And
while they're home or not home?
Well, you know.
Are you one of those guys that peeks over the fence?
Well, you know what's funny is that, a lot of people ask me to go and visit their yards. And I always do feel weird because a lot of times I'm like, just hopping over fences or anything. And so I was at someone's yard. I always make sure I'm wearing a T-shirt or my shirt that's labeled. That way they know where I'm coming from.
Do you know where that music's coming from? Well, that's interesting.
That's not me, is it?
And it sounds good.
Yeah.
I think it makes Tiger's talk a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, I feel like I should.
I know what it is.
Okay.
Everything's going to be good now.
Yeah. All right.
Because the board op, our director and studio coordinator, was not receiving our audio.
Oh.
So I went up and I clicked a button and we're good to go.
Oh.
So what that was Phil. For those listening on the radio, instead of dead air, they play a little Phil music.
Nice.
But if you're watching on Facebook, you don't even know what's going on. To you, everything was the same. So,
yeah.
So that's what happened. Sorry about that. Probably my bad as we hook up to the network. But all is good now at 8 minutes after the hour. Thank you so much for being Johnny on the spot. Okay, 855-424-9825. You can also post your questions, comments right there on Facebook. And again, John at gardenamerica.com. Now, where were you in the middle of this conversation, Tiger? Right?
Oh, I was
hopping fences.
Hopping fences,
yes, okay.
But I carry a vest with me that says Mission Hills Nursery and on the back because sometimes I'm just,
It says don't shoot on
yeah,
the back.
exactly. Because I'll be running around people's yards, hopping fences, and I'm just imagining I'm going to get the cops called on me at least one time.
Oh, sure, of course.
Yeah. But you got, 3 to 4 minutes before police show up, so.
That's about right, yeah, depending how serious it is.
Yeah, exactly, depending on what they think you're doing.
You just ran in that Ragnar relay, so I'm sure that you'd be good. You could outrun most of them,
most police, yeah. Uh-oh.
So how did you spend your week, John?
Oh, my gosh.
Just give us highlights.
Well, this was a busy week for shipping at Garden America.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, hundreds and hundreds of orders had to go out, but my sons helped me, and we got everything out. So there's still plenty of time to order, and we're talking about vegetables, by the way. If you're just joining us, go to gardenamerica.com, and you can order all your grafted tomatoes, peppers, whatever. Anyway, Rochelle says, John, my cousin is visiting from Bloomfield Hills for the weekend. She's loving the weather. And I told her that Garden America and I are responsible for it.
Oh, beautiful.
But Bloomfield Hills, Brian, is right next to Farmington Hills. And that's where I grew up.
A lot of hills around there, right? Farmington Hills.
I'll tell you, hills in Michigan.
Anything that has a slight incline?
Yeah.
Is a hill.
Yeah, not much. But I was born in Detroit. I lived in Detroit till I was, I think, 12. And
Detroit proper, the city?
Yeah.
Wow.
Northeast side of Detroit. On 6 Mile and Southfield Road.
You weren't far from M&M.
Only 2 miles away from 8 Mile, right?
Do you remember your home phone number as a kid?
I think I told you this once before, that a mile away, Diana Ross lived on Outer Drive.
How about Barry Gordy?
Oh, I didn't know Barry Gordy.
Okay.
I didn't know Diana Ross either, except that she...
Well, you're talking Motown, the Motor City.
Yeah, it was kind of just starting then, right at the beginning of Motown. So, where was I? Now you made me listen.
Reminiscing about your childhood. I asked you if you remembered your phone number as a kid growing up.
KE54447.
That
was my Detroit phone number.
We were
17161 Rosemont.
We were 619-488-7302. And before that, it was Hudson 8.
You didn't have an exchange? Yeah, you had an exchange.
Yeah, Hudson
right?
8-7302.
Yeah. Do you remember when instead of zip codes, it was
numbers?
Like we lived in Detroit, 19, Michigan?
We were San Diego 9, California. Just 9.
Wow. Tiger has no idea what we're even talking
about.
Nope.
I've always been 619.
619. Okay, so it is 11 minutes after the hour. We should tease a little bit here as far as our guest when we come back from the break and what we're going to be discussing, Tiger.
So we're going to be discussing edible landscaping with Brie Arthur. She wrote a book called The Foodscape Revolution, and it's talking about how to incorporate edible plants in just a standard landscape. You know, if you need a hedge, why not use something that's actually producing fruit or you can eat?
That's a good idea. Now, you said Brie Arthur, not B. Arthur.
No, not B. Arthur,
okay,
Brie Arthur.
Brie Arthur. Okay, very, very good. So, yeah, I think that, that's interesting, because a lot of people, they plant various things in their garden, in their backyard, but don't really think, hey, I could plant something that looks nice, but it's also edible at the same time.
Yeah,
you mentioned a hedge as an example.
Yeah.
Well, I told you that I was listening to another gardening show on the way into the station.
Are you cheating on us, John? Come on.
I get my information wherever I can. And one of the hosts of the show mentioned that his entire landscape is edible. He doesn't put anything in his yard unless he can eat some part of it.
Do you think there's a general thinking out there that if it's something edible, it's going to be more difficult to grow?
No, I think they just don't think about it being practical in the landscape.
Right, exactly. They feel there's more care. Like, for instance, if it's edible, you kind of feel the need to eat it.
Like you need a tractor to pull out the weeds instead of...
I forgot, speaking of edibles, I forgot to take a picture of the veggie pod and everything growing inside of it.
Coming out?
Because last night we made bean and cheese burritos, and I went out there and grabbed a bunch of cilantro.
Nice.
And but it's all coming up really nice.
Yes. Everything in nice rows this time, right?
Yeah. And I've actually got a little piece of paper, a little I call it my little mini schematics that I drew so I know what I planted where.
Well, there you go.
So, yeah, the cilantro, again, I'll rave about that. Tasting good, everything's coming up. And definitely not hard at all to grow these kind of things. Carrots, spinach, lettuce, cilantro.
Well, one of the plants we sell at Garden America is cosmic kale. And it's a perennial kale that in warm climates never dies down to the ground. It never flowers, so it has to be grown vegetatively. But once you plant
vegetatively, I like that word.
Yeah, once you plant it, it makes maybe like a 3-foot shrub.
Right.
And besides being edible, it just looks pretty because it has variegated leaves. And I think I brought one for Tiger today, as a matter of fact.
Very, very nice. You going to show that on camera later?
Yep.
So anyway, those are the kinds of things you can. There was I'm trying to think. I think it was Chanticleer Gardens back east. Took that plant and put it in their mixed flower containers because it's so pretty. So there are a lot of really good-looking shrubs, and I'm sure we'll be talking to Brie about this, in plants that can work right into the landscape.
And that's a good shot that Tiger showing there. Speaking of that, the dwarf tomatoes you gave me a couple of weeks ago, John, or was it last week? Doing very well already.
You're not picking tomatoes yet, though.
No, of course not, but I can already see them growing. But you know what? I can tell it's not very good soil. I had run out of ocean forest, so I go digging in the back, and I found a bag because I had to because you're always saying how important soil is for things to grow.
It is important.
So, tongue-in-cheek there. So I grabbed this bag of soil, and it's, you know what? You know how you tell it's bad soil? It likes to separate from the pot, inside the pot.
Oh,
it's not good.
Shrinks.
Yeah, so.
Well, that usually means it has a lot of peat moss in it, because when peat moss dries, it shrinks.
And yes.
And the other bad part about that is once it does get to that point, it's hard to get wet again. Because
that's exactly right.
Yeah, when you water it, the water goes right down the sides of the pot.
Yep.
I describe that to people as a sponge. A dried out sponge repels water. Only a wet sponge actually absorbs it.
And compared to the other soil that I have in their ocean forest, a world of difference. That never happens. So I'm going to get some of the ocean forest and probably go through there and not change it out completely, but add to it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, last week we were talking about a plant that, a new plant, really. It's a hybrid between two different plants. And you know where Tenerife is? That's the largest of the Canary Islands. There's a plant that grows over there that's called Isoplexus canariensis, and it's related to foxglove, which is digitalis. Well, breeders took digitalis, which is a biennial and dies out, after it blooms, and crossed it with Isoplexus, which is a perennial, and essentially produced a perennial foxglove that blooms all summer. And we now offer it, a few plants anyway, at GardenAmerica.com, so check it out.
Go to GardenAmerica.com, absolutely. Nicely done, John. Good explanation. Canary Islands off the coast of Africa, right?
I think it's off the coast of Spain.
Is it Spain?
I don't know. We'll check that out.
I'm thinking. That's why they did it.
You got the whole break to think.
Okay, we are going to take a break. Bryan, Maine, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox. Welcome to Facebook Live. Welcome to radio listeners.
Battling bugs inside and out? Then it's time to get more from Bayer Advanced and Lowe's Home Improvement stores. Now you can buy Bayer Advanced Complete Brand Insect Killer for soil and turf and get a free bottle of Bayer Advanced Home Pest Plus Germ Killer, a $9 value. Complete works outside on your lawn, eliminating surface insects, including mosquitoes, in 24 hours and soil insects for up to 3 months. While Home Pest Plus Germ Killer handles the bugs inside your home. Lowe's and Bayer Advanced. Get more from the blue bottle. Always read and follow label instructions.
Do you have insects on your roses? Do you have borers damaging your trees and shrubs due to stress or the drought? This is Tiger Palafox with Garden America Radio. Fertilome Tree and Shrub Drench is a great product that will give you season-long protection against many insects. Fertilome Tree and Shrub Drench can act as a preventer or a curative for insects that suck, chew, or bore on your plants. This may be the easiest product to use. Simply measure, mix in a bucket, and pour around the base of the tree. One application can last up to a full year. Protect your trees with Fertilome Tree and Shrub Drench. Find it at your local independent nursery or fertilome.com.
Due to an upturn in the economy, Main Street Business Loans has pre-approved the release of millions of dollars in small business funding. Your business may already be pre-approved to receive up to $250,000. We've sent out millions of pre-approval letters. We see the economy growing, and our underwriters believe now is the time to invest in your business so you can grow faster and make more money. And we're prepared to give you up to $250,000 to do it. Your funds can be available in 5 days. There are no application fees, no annual fees, just quick access to up to $250,000. If your business did not receive your approval letter to get up to $250,000, call Main Street Business Loans Approval Desk now.
800-430-7570. 800-430-7570. 800-430-7570. That's 800-430-7570.
Attention! Are you moving soon and don't know who to turn to? If you are moving or planning to move long distance or across the country, Moving APT is offering up to a 20% discount for radio callers this month. Let us handle and remove all the pain and stress in a long distance move. Let Moving APT help you with your all-inclusive move, including packaging services, help with washers and dryers, mounted TVs, bed frames, and more. We can include packing and unpacking services or ask for boxes, tape, bubble wrap, or labels. We also disassemble and reassemble appliances and TVs at your new home. Moving is difficult and stressful, so call Moving APT today to find the most professional movers to support you. If you are looking for a low-cost quote to move long distance or across the country, call us now. Call 800-716-0362. 800-716-0362. Get a guaranteed quote with up to 20% off. 800-716-0362.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-569-3414. That's 800-569-3414. Again, 800-569-3414.
Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at gardenamerica.com.
We are right here Saturday morning. Thank you so much for those of you listening, however, streaming, perhaps your local radio station, local market. Those of you watching on Facebook Live, that's a lot of fun. You can post your questions and comments right there on Facebook Live or email us, john@gardenamerica.com. Also, a third way is the old telephone at 855-424-9825. 21 minutes after the hour, Bree is standing by. But first, John, the quote of the week, and then we'll get to our guest.
Yeah, and before we get to the quote, we just want to get our geography correct. The Canary Islands do belong to Spain, but they're right off the coast of Morocco.
Okay, so I was right as far as location.
Right.
You were right in terms of who owns them.
Well, they're just south of Spain.
Just south of Spain.
You know, Spain is right there by...
Off Morocco.
Sure.
All right, let's do the quote and get to our guest, Bree, who is standing by patiently.
Okay, and the quote is from Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, who, as you know, Brian, wrote the book The Little Prince.
Well, not just The Little Prince, but a myriad of other books.
Well, I don't know of any of the others, but I'm sure he did. Anyway, he said, well, I must endure the presence of a few caterpillars if I wish to become acquainted with the butterflies.
Absolutely.
There you go.
So, with that in mind here, Garden America on your Saturday morning, Tiger, introduce our guest, and let's talk edibles.
All right. Super excited to be chatting with Bree Arthur this morning, the author of The Foodscape Revolution. It's such a neat concept to be able to grow plants, enjoy your beautiful garden, but at the same time, enjoy it past that and use them in the kitchen, pick them right off the tree, whatever you need, but they actually produce something you can eat. Bree Arthur, good morning.
Good morning, y'all. Thanks for having me.
Oh, love having you on. Excited to be chatting with you about this topic. Now, before we get started, Bree, tell us a little bit about your background and how did this come about that you were inspired to write this book?
Well, I have to say I'm in good company because I'm also a native Michigander. I grew up in Monroe, so just south of Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been in Central North Carolina now 16 years. But the inspiration for writing this was really derived from my desire to garden and grow vegetables, but living in a neighborhood with a homeowner association that had this rule about no vegetables in the front yard. And I wanted to come up with a design strategy that would overcome that challenge and hopefully give some insights to other people who, have an interest in cultivating vegetables, but don't want to get a fine by their homeowner association.
Really? So
that makes so much sense because, trust me, I live under homeowner rules and regulations, the HOA.
Yeah. Now that's so interesting. So it almost came about by, you having a need for this to do your research to come up with solutions that would be okay for a homeowner association, which is very difficult because they try to keep things very status quo. They try to play the middle of the road on everything.
Keep a balance, make sure your plants aren't higher than mine.
Right, or they're not going to take over or something like that. So you had to probably do quite a bit of research on all that stuff.
Well, what's funny is when you say you vegetable garden, people automatically assume the only way you can do that is in raised beds where you blow your entire budget on lumber. And, that changes the infrastructure, particularly of your front yard, which is the main thing that a homeowner association is looking to preserve. So when I started really researching, and all of this came about from reading Rosalind Creasy's amazing books on edible landscaping, and then, converting that to an East Coast sensibility and looking at the plants that I can grow here. We have a 12-month growing season in the Raleigh area.
Nice.
And, filling up open mulch space in between all the shrubs and perennials and trees that you have, and using the landscape really as the basis and knowing that, hey, if you don't have a tractor, you don't have to grow in a straight line. And I can't believe how many people it's never crossed their mind that the reason for straight lines is mechanization. But as a home gardener, you're likely not using mechanization to cultivate any aspect of your landscape. So, getting people to see they can be creative with their combinations and, really focus on the food that you actually eat on a regular basis.
Right.
I always ask people, how many of you are going to go hungry if you don't have access to radishes tomorrow? Look at the stuff that you actually eat all the time, maybe garlic and onions and potatoes and, the stuff that you use every day, and try growing that in a
Right.
meaningful way so that it actually changes your habits at the grocery store.
And I always tell people the reason why you also want to plant what you eat is because you'll enjoy growing it and you'll be successful. Where, for instance, I don't eat radishes. I can grow a radish. They are easy to grow plants. You throw some seeds out and they can grow.
I like radishes.
Well, no, but
They grow
I don't
fast,
eat them.
too. Don't they grow fast?
Yeah, they grow really fast. So why would I plant them? Because I'm going to put a bunch of effort into growing something.
You know what? There's a way to eat them, though, that you would like them.
Oh, yeah?
You slice them, and then you put them in olive oil with salt.
Uh-huh.
I guarantee you would
Love
like
them.
them.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, but you want to plant something you will eat,
Exactly.
because then you'll take the time, you'll actually take care of it, you'll water it, you'll watch it, and it'll grow for you.
Right.
But if you try to plant a bunch of stuff you're not going to eat, at the end of the day, you'll be like, why did I grow this?
Don't plant rutabaga.
Exactly. Hey,
Don't
Bree,
plant rutabaga.
I'm curious, Bree, how did you get around that situation where they said you couldn't grow vegetables? How did you finally conquer that little dilemma?
Well, it's actually a really fun story. You know, I was sneaking vegetables in and hiding them in the shrubs and, scattering seeds and just kind of keeping my fingers crossed. And I ended up getting awarded Yard of the Year. And what I realized was that when you weren't growing in this agronomic way, they had no idea what vegetables looked like.
That's cool.
You played upon their ignorance.
Exactly. Kale mixed with, a flowering perennial, they had no idea that you could actually bring that kale in and eat it. Now, if I had taken out my front lawn and disturbed the infrastructure and put in a bunch of raised beds and grew these in little straight lines like soldiers, I would have absolutely been fined. But because I tucked them into the existing landscape, they really had no idea other than that they thought it looked beautiful. And that's the whole point, is to bring beauty and bounty into the landscape you have, particularly for young homeowners and first-time gardeners. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. Use the space that's already being cultivated and add a few things that you're going to bring into your kitchen and learn as you go. But it can be really overwhelming when you spend, $1,000 on raised beds and then you don't get good soil, like what you were talking about earlier. All of that starts with cultivating your soil. So if people can spend more money on building their soil by bringing in organic matter and less on lumber, I feel like I've made a big success in this world.
Yeah, and so we're going to have to take a break here in just a minute. But, Bree, I wanted to mention to our listeners, and for those of you that are following on Facebook, I just loaded up Bree's website into the thread, and it's just briegrows.com, BRIE grows, GROWS.com. And it's kind of hard to wrap your head around what she's talking about, but there's great pictures on her website of what she's done as far as having these planter beds, but they're all full with edible plants and
you'll
vegetables.
have a link. You're going to put up a link,
and
aren't
I put
you?
up the link right now,
Beautiful.
so that way it's there and so people can visit that.
We'll come right back with Bree, our guest. If you have any questions, 855-424-9825. Also, John at GardenAmerica.com and right there on Facebook Live as we continue to monitor. Bryan, Maine, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox, Garden America stepping aside, taking a quick break. Right back.
Hey, Dad, want to shoot some hoops?
In a bit, buddy. I promise. Allegra knows that allergy symptoms can get in the way of enjoying the moment.
I'll just play by myself.
For outdoor and indoor allergies, get Allegra. It's the fastest, non-drowsy allergy relief. It starts working in 1 hour, helping you break through your worst allergy symptoms with continuous 24-hour relief.
Yes!
Great shot, buddy. Let's play another game.
You're on, Dad.
Get Allegra and get back to the moment. Among single-ingredient, OTC-branded oral antihistamines. Use as directed.
Starting a business can be tough, but getting the word out about your business through a great website can be even tougher. That's why you need SpotOnWebsite.com. At SpotOnWebsite.com, you can register your company's domain name and even build your website overnight. It's fast, easy, and most of all, it's sure to fit your budget. SpotOnWebsite.com has a wide range of internet products and solutions to make the most of your website, even on a small business budget. Log on today and see for yourself at SpotOnWebsite.com.
If you're suffering from hearing loss, stay tuned for a special offer from the makers of Listen Clear, a revolutionary hearing aid breakthrough designed by top audio engineers to fit your ear almost invisibly. Right now, you can try Listen Clear hearing aids absolutely free for 5 days. You can also qualify for free shipping and free batteries for life. Listen Clear hearing aids are so lightweight and comfortable, you can wear them all day long. They're practically invisible, too, so others won't even notice you're wearing them. And the best part is, you'll be able to hear almost everything, everywhere. So do something about your hearing loss. Call Listen Clear now to get started with your 45-day risk-free hearing aid trial. This special offer won't be available for long, so call Listen Clear now.
800-716-4650. 800-716-4650. 800-716-4650. We're here 24 hours a day to help. That's 800-716-4650.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1769. 855-325-1769. That's 855-325-1769.
This is an urgent health notice for all residents suffering from back, neck, knee, and wrist pain. You may qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you, but the deadline is fast approaching. Simply call the Health Alert Hotline now.
You heard right. You may qualify for a pain-relieving back, neck, knee, or wrist brace. These items may even be covered by Medicare or your private insurance. The Health Alert Hotline is your brace company. These specialized braces have been tested for pain relief. Call us toll-free right now to determine your eligibility and to learn how to use your private insurance or Medicare to minimize your out-of-pocket cost. Don't wait. If the deadline passes, you may lose your opportunity to get a pain-relieving back, neck, knee, or wrist brace at little or no cost to you.
800-306-1760. 800-306-1760. 800-306-1760. That's 800-306-1760.
Reason number 12 why you should own a ThermoSpa's hot tub? They require no attachment to your home's plumbing. Thanks to the ThermoSpa's unique built-in thermofiltration system that filters the water an incredible 144 times a day, you simply fill it with a garden hose and your water stays crystal clear with very little maintenance. Call to receive a free DVD and brochure and find out how you can own a ThermoSpa's hot tub for only a few dollars a day. Right now, they're offering 0% APR financing with approved credit and a $1,000 savings coupon, including free delivery, free chemicals, and a cash discount. And with models starting at $4,995, there will never be a better time to own a ThermoSpa's hot tub. So call now and ask about this limited time offer. Call ThermoSpas today at 800-956-7183 for your free DVD and brochure. That's 800-956-7183. ThermoSpas, hot tubs designed to improve your life. Call 800-956-7183 today to take advantage of 0% APR financing.
Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America radio show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at gardenamerica.com.
Exactly 35 minutes after the hour, back here on your Saturday morning here. Garden America with John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox, Brian, Maine. 855-424-9825. John at gardenamerica.com. Also Facebook Live as we continue, Tiger, and getting a lot of good responses from our topic this morning about edibles.
Yeah, a lot of people are chiming in on what they've planted, what they're growing in their yards that are edible, and how it's a easy to do thing and a proper to do thing as well.
It's the right thing to do.
Because it's good to be able to use the plant besides just its beauty. So we're chatting with Brie Arthur, the author of Foodscape Revolution. And right before the commercial, I had mentioned about loading up her website to see some images of it. But another great way to get more information is to grab her book, The Foodscape Revolution. So I'm going to load up a link to be able to purchase it on Amazon. And Bree, aside from the book, you also have an event coming up, correct?
I do. I'm hosting a foodscape tour so that people coming to the Raleigh area can see it live and in person, and I can send them home with seeds so they can get started on their own foodscape. And it's a really great experience for people to understand, just how easy this concept is. I mean, I'm looking out right now, and I have ground covers of ripe strawberries right along with the foundation shrubs that the builder put in when they put the house up. So, it can be something as simple as just covering up the open mulch space so that you reduce your weeding tasks and you eliminate the need to spray Roundup, and then you actually get to eat from that ground cover at the same time.
And one of the pictures that I see of you online, and we were having this discussion before we started the show, was the peanut plant. And it shows you have harvested a peanut, shows the peanuts hanging down from the bush and everything. You guys utilize that in the landscape there, and it makes for a good plant to be able to incorporate into people's gardens?
It really does. Peanuts, a lot of this I take, a note from the farmers around me. And peanuts are a really popular replacement plant for tobacco here in central North Carolina. So I figured if the farmers are doing it, I could probably grow it successfully as well. And it's a great plant to just thumb a raw nut into the edge of a bed and, let it kind of grow as a ground cover. It'll reduce your maintenance. And it's a legume, so it naturally fixes nitrogen. So it's a great addition to really help reduce the inputs that you have to put on to grow anything else around it. And then in the fall, as the days start to get short, that's when you pull it out of the ground. And it's just one of those authentic experiences that most people have never seen peanuts growing. And, whether you're growing enough to be able to harvest and use for your own consumption, it's still just a really cool plant. It's a beautiful flower and really low watering needs. It's a very drought-tolerant plant. So I highly suggest it for people all over the country. Even if you're in a colder climate, you can grow peanuts successfully in containers. The key there is that it needs loose, warm soil.
And you bring up an interesting topic when people think about the foodscaping idea, too, is that if you are landscaping your garden with food, you usually have an excess amount. But, you mentioned the peanuts, and then there's other plants that actually store or dry out really well, and then you can share with your neighbors. You can go to crop swaps in your local community. You can donate these to food banks. But you got the opportunity to enjoy it in your yard. You got the opportunity to enjoy your landscape from it. Doesn't mean you always have to eat it. You can still grow it and have fun with it, but then also know that down the road there's a way to share your spoils. And I think that's half the fun. I mean, we're my younger generation loves to share whatever we're doing. So I think that we're going to be excited for being able to plant things, grow things, and then share them with other people and show off what we've done.
Absolutely.
Do you see that happening too a lot, where people have foodscape landscapes?
Absolutely. We've actually turned our neighborhood entrance over to the kids in our neighborhood instead of paying a landscape contractor. Last year they harvested 350 pounds of produce just from that little spot that, greets you as you pull in our neighborhood. And those kids were so proud to take that and share the produce with everyone in our neighborhood, and the leftovers went to the food bank. And now they have a much greater appreciation for what goes into making food accessible to us. And, I often will tell people, sometimes it's not even about how much you eat from it. It's just getting a greater understanding and appreciation for what goes into making food accessible to all of us every day of the year. And, the greater appreciation we can all gain as a society, I think, the better society we will be. I would like to see this next generation grow in empathy and increase their awareness so that they make better decisions moving forward and become better stewards of the earth. And growing food is a really great gateway to gaining that.
Go ahead, John.
I was just going to say, we were talking during the break about how versatile herbs are, and they can be used as ground cover, small shrubs. And a lot of our listeners that are on Facebook are mentioning that, even a bay tree, if you're in an area where a bay tree will survive, can be your landscape tree. And when you go to the store to buy herbs, do you ever use them all? I mean,
right, exactly.
You get a handful of them. You use whatever you needed for that particular recipe.
That's it.
Then put it in the refrigerator for 2 weeks until it's limp and
Rotten.
throw it away. But if it's part of your landscape, you can just go out there and grab a sprig or two whenever you need it.
Only what you need.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Bree.
Well, you're a lot more likely to use it when you have easy access to it. That's the thing. Like,
exactly.
Oh, this dinner is bland. I can add some basil, and all of a sudden it tastes like you're, in Italy. And, that's, I think, what people are really looking for is having a simple, authentic experience. And the reason you can't have that from your landscape.
Yeah.
Mentioning Italy, if you go to Italy, some of those homes are on really small pieces of land.
Yeah.
But you never see a house without a fig tree and a grapevine.
Exactly.
And I think that they're doing exactly what Bree says, just putting edibles in the landscape is part of their lifestyle.
Yeah, it's always nice to be able to just go out there. So on May 5th is your Foodscape open house, and you're inviting people to, is it your house or other houses in the neighborhood as well?
Well, they can tour the whole neighborhood. We're kind of like ground zero for this process. Every square inch of landscape space is utilized in this capacity. And, in the book, I kind of cover the different zones, which is a permaculture concept that's, really been transitioned for people who aren't devoting all of their time and energy and resources to gardening, but can take a nod from permaculture practices and apply it to particularly suburban landscapes. And, give people some ideas of how you can go totally overboard and look like the crazy person in the neighborhood, which is what I am, or my neighbors who have, just taken a few ideas and are applying it, to container gardens or, thyme and rosemary as a foundation landscape planting so that when they want to get quick herbs, they don't even have to put shoes on.
That's a great idea.
Beautiful.
Well, Bree, thank you very much for joining us this weekend. Lots of great information. For more information, people can go to briegrows.com. That's BRIE grows.com. And if you're in the Raleigh, North Carolina area, look for that event coming up in May 5th. And then you also go around the country speaking at different groups. Your book is available at Amazon, The Foodscape Revolution. Wow. Are you going to be home this spring, or are you going to be traveling around?
I actually just did my 190th venue since last March when the book debuted.
Wow.
And I have quite a few more venues ahead. I'm currently booked through next April.
Wow.
So I look forward to coming out to the West Coast, and I hope maybe I'll get to meet y'all sometime.
That'd be great.
Yeah, if you're ever in the Southern California, San Diego area, please stop by, and we'll make sure to have you on the show again.
Well, this has been a sincere pleasure. Thank you all for getting the good word out to all the gardeners in the U.S.
Absolutely. Thank you for being on, Bree. We know you had fun, and we appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, very good. Excellent. Outstanding.
Lots of good information.
That should inspire people to now plant edibles. I mean, because they look good, too. It adds to the landscape.
Makes you perky, too.
It does make you perky. Absolutely, yeah.
And
a lot of enthusiasm in that interview.
A lot of ideas that even as a veteran gardener like myself forget, the peanuts, using the herbs as a ground cover, but at the same time, you have an herb out there to be able to use in your yard.
Yeah, we had a peanut conversation during one of the breaks this morning, and John, you were saying that the flower, it grows up and then back down again?
Yeah, the flower is, the peanut plant reminds me of a little bean plant, except when the flower comes out, it opens and then the stem points to the ground and it burrows its way into the ground, and that's where the peanuts form.
Okay, it is break time. If you have any questions, you can type them right there on Facebook Live on our page. Questions, comments. You can also email us, john@gardenamerica.com, or if you want to speak with us via the telephone, we'd love to hear from you at 855-424-9825. I'm Brian Main. Tiger Palafox, John Bagnasco. Garden America, happy Saturday, happy weekend.
Battling bugs inside and out? Then it's time to get more from Bayer Advanced and Lowe's Home Improvement Stores. Now you can buy Bayer Advanced Complete Brand Insect Killer for soil. Bayer Advanced Home Pest Plus Germ Killer, a $9 value. Complete works outside on your lawn, eliminating surface insects, including mosquitoes, in 24 hours and soil insects for up to 3 months. While Home Pest Plus Germ Killer handles the bugs inside your home. Lowe's and Bayer Advanced. Get more from the blue bottle. Always read and follow label instructions.
This is Joe Lample from Growing a Greener World. With the environment in mind, I recommend Milorganite Organic Nitrogen Fertilizer for all your growing needs. From plants to people, active growth requires energy, nutrients, and a balanced diet. Nutrient-rich Milorganite feeds the soil and plants for up to 3 months. The organic nitrogen is slow release and won't burn plants even during hot, dry weather. Trust the fertilizer, proven effective for 90 years. Milorganite, for better results naturally. Visit Milorganite.com for a garden center near you.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for under $30,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet under $30,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100 foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait.
Call 800-605-5370. 800-605-5370. Call 800-605-5370.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from television host and 3-time author Josh Melberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now because we are about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-935-0752 now and you'll receive a free copy of Josh Melberg's book, Next Gen Annuity Strategies Revealed. As a bonus, we'll also send you a copy of The #1 Mistakes Retirees Are Making with Their Investments Today and a free DVD on how you can get up to 33% more income in retirement. Call 800-935-0752. That's 800-935-0752. Employees of J.D. Melberg Financial have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer.
Non-attorney paid spokesperson. Could your house go into foreclosure? Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Does it seem like the bank has no interest in helping you save your home? And you feel like you have nowhere to turn for help? Then we have good news for you. Foreclosure Protection Services can help save your home as they specialize in foreclosure assistance. That's all they do. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-670-2142. Their network of attorneys and their agents are available to speak to you now. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, Foreclosure Protection Services can help stop the foreclosure process. Call today before it's too late. New laws are in effect that may save your home. Call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-670-2142. 800-670-2142. That's 800-670-2142.
Do you have an old car sitting in your driveway? How would you like to learn a hassle-free way to get rid of it, help kids in need, and get a great tax donation in the process? It's real easy. One simple free call to our car donation hotline is all it takes. Call the Neshama Foundation at 800-721-6723, 800-721-6723. We'll come pick your car up for free and give you a tax donation for the full value of the car, running or not. The value of your unwanted car will go to help kids in need. It's fast and easy. Just call us and your car will be gone and on its way to helping children in 48 hours. And you get a nice tax deduction. Call the Neshama Foundation now to get rid of your car, help kids, and get a tax write-off. Call 800-721-6723, 800-721-6723, 800-721-6723. That's 800-721-6723.
Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Brian, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at gardenamerica.com.
Right back here on your Saturday weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. It is Garden America. Brian Main, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox at 855-424-9825. Also questions, comments, and a lot of great comments right there on Facebook Live. That's Facebook Live, of course, and John at gardenamerica.com for more questions, more comments. 3 ways to do it. Also do want to remind you to download the iHeartRadio app because we are doing podcasts, which iHeart Media has been so kind to allow us to be part of their podcasting. And so we're going to be doing a podcast after this show, recording one that'll be up posted very soon. It's going to be on roses. So the difference between this show and the podcast shows that we're going to be doing is that we pick one topic on the podcast. We talk about it, that topic only, for 20 to 30 minutes and really delve into it and get really detailed. So download the iHeart app. You can also, John's been very gracious enough to provide the link in our newsletter toward the bottom of the newsletter. You click that, that'll take you to all the various podcast shows. So be sure to do that. Either way works, and we do appreciate it. If you get the app, you can also create your own radio stations, pick your favorite music. So a lot to it besides Garden America.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
You know what? If you want a summertime project with your kids, in this week's newsletter, we had directions on how to make a hyper-tufa tub. And those are so much fun. They're messy, though.
Yeah, but they're fun.
But you can make containers to plant up cactus and succulents, and they're like lightweight concrete containers, and you can make them in all shapes and sizes. And all you have to do to get the newsletter is just go to gardenamerica.com and sign up for it. Put your email contact in the upper right-hand corner, and we'll send it out to you every Friday.
Yeah, gardenamerica.com.
And then also, besides the maybe cement, you have everything you need to make a hypertufa usually in your home at all times. You know, just the containers, what you're going to do with it. So it's pretty easy. You don't need to go out and invest too much. It's fun.
John, you've got some email questions at john@gardenamerica.com.
Yeah, I'm also sending you a picture right now from Steve in Simi Valley, who I'm not sure what he meant, whether he's trying to do a play on words here or what, but he sent a picture of his Brussels sprouts. And he just mentioned that, he says, "Hello, garden buddies. I just came back from Brussels, Belgium, like Bree said." So I don't know if he meant that he was out there looking at his Brussels sprouts or what. So I'm going to send this to you, Brian, and you can take a look. And then we have an email question that we'll take a look at right here. If I
I'll
do 2 things at one time.
Shortly after the show, I'll post some of those pictures. I think we also have some tomato pictures from Steve as well as the Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, Steve is actually picking tomatoes
already.
At least the ones that he sends look ripe to me.
I'm gonna guess that Simi Valley's been fairly warm lately, and that helped with his tomato production.
Well, he sent us pictures earlier in the year. He started really early, like in January with his tomatoes, as I recall. This question comes from Kathy, and she says, "How do I combat blossom end rot on tomatoes?" And blossom end rot is, first of all, if you do get it during the season when your tomatoes are growing, it's a disease. It's actually not a disease.
It's a malady, isn't it?
It is a malady, Brian. That's a good word. It's a physical characteristic where the end of the tomato turns black. And the good part about that, if there is a good part, is the rest of the tomato when it ripens
you just
is
cut it
still
out.
good. So just cut that end off. But it results from a calcium deficiency. So when you plant your tomatoes, if you're planting this time of year, if you take a handful of gypsum, which is calcium sulfate, and just throw it into the hole before you plant, mix it up in there, that should eliminate any problems with calcium. But during the season, if you get the blossom end rot, you can spray your plants with a liquid calcium. And do you know any of the brand names? One is Folical.
Oh, I mean, almost all Manufacturers
chemical
have one.
companies have one.
Bonide has it. Fertilome has and they just call them blossom end rot sprays or tomato set spray. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot out there.
So there's two ways to do it.
Tomato set is different.
Well, no, but usually it's a tomato set / blossom end rot.
Oh, really?
You'll see it on the bottle.
Does both? Huh?
Yeah, it does both. And speaking of that though, but you bring up a good point. And if you're going to invest in those plants that could possibly get it, the tomatoes, the peppers, some of those kinds of things, it's definitely smart to do what John mentioned and be preemptive.
Right.
Because a lot of people
just assume you're going to have no calcium.
Yeah, because a lot of people will go and plant it, and then they see it happen on one, and then they're like, oh, I should start to do, and then it's happening on two, and next thing you know, a lot of their fruit is not good anymore because of the problem, or they're not getting, the proper production.
Right.
But it's kind of one of those things that if you're planting those plants, that should be part of the way you plant. Just like you would incorporate some fertilizer or your soil amendments. It should just be part of what you do at that time, because it's better to be ahead of it than try to catch up and try to solve it with a blossom set spray or end rot spray or something.
You have one more question? We got a little bit of time before the top of the hour, John.
But one thing that we really need to talk about, I hope we have time, is that we've been talking for years about why you can't grow carnations anymore.
Yes.
And we now have them available.
We do have carnations available.
And they're carnation plants with short stems. And we have two types. One is the Odessa series, which to me looks more like the regular carnation.
Is that what you gave me? You can't remember,
I gave
can
you a mixture.
Yeah, okay.
And the other's the Sunflower series, which are known as pot carnations. They do great in a container or along the border. And the nice thing about these carnations is that they're totally hardy. So you can grow them all the way up into Minnesota.
Wow.
They're evergreen. They last year-round. And they just continue to bloom. They may be difficult to find, and we do have a limited selection. I put them up online last week, so we've already been getting orders. So go to gardenamerica.com, and under products, look for flowers.
Okay.
And if you click on flowers, you'll see the whole assembly of what we have available.
Yeah, I feel bad now that I've got that terrible soil in those plants. It just makes me, I can't wait to change it. It's just the more I think about it, because I just feel like I'm doing the plant a disservice.
Well, you can go ahead and do that.
I know, but it's just so bad.
They haven't been in there that long.
No,
I think you only
they're
got
fine.
them 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
right?
they're fine. It's just the soil's really bad, and you're right, it does separate. It dries up, and the water just goes right through it, right to the bottom.
We're going to start the people who ordered last week that want them shipped on Monday, I'm going to actually ship this Monday. But there's already flower buds on a lot of the plants we're shipping.
Hey, that's going to do it for hour number 1. We've got hour 2 all lined up, ready to go at 6 minutes after. By the way, this first hour can be heard again, the replay this afternoon, 2 p.m. here in Southern California on AM 740. So if you're in the area or want to stream it, that's a good way to hear what you might have missed during hour 1. Hour 2 coming up after the news on many of these stations here on Biz Talk Radio.
The opinions you hear on Biz Talk Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of this station, Biz Talk Radio, its management, or advertisers. The information on Biz Talk Radio does not constitute a recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or service. If you have any questions about Biz Talk Radio, contact us at 817-274-1609 or at biztalkradio.com. Biz Talk Radio.
For USA Radio News, I'm Rick Vincent. A 19-year-old is behind bars after yesterday's school shooting in Florida. Police say Sky Boucher carried a shotgun in a guitar case and fired one shot through a locked door, striking a student in the ankle. Led away in handcuffs, Boucher had this to say to reporters.
I didn't see anyone.
How do you know him?
I didn't see anyone. So you were just shooting in the darkness?
Boucher later apologized. Marion County Sheriff Billy Wood says the student who was wounded was treated at hospital.
His injuries are non-life-threatening. He is in good condition.
Friday's shooting at Forest High School in Ocala happened on a day planned for a national classroom walkout to protest gun violence. One of President Donald Trump's latest tweets says he does not expect his personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, to flip on him. The FBI raided Cohen's home, office, and hotel earlier this month, investigating his business dealings. Trump accuses the New York Times and a reporter of going out of their way to destroy Cohen. You're listening to USA Radio News.
Hi, I'm Wade Alaroot. I was one of the biggest critics of Barack Obama in the national media. You may remember from stories at Fox News. Suddenly, I was under massive IRS attack. I interviewed all the top tax lawyers in America, and I hired Sam Landis. Sam did an amazing job. The entire IRS was out to destroy me, and we won. Not once, but twice. I didn't owe a penny. Thank you, Sam Landis. Many of you have hired non-lawyer tax resolution firms and have spent thousands of dollars getting nowhere. Do yourself a favor. Call Sam Landis and get honest answers about your IRS case free. After your free confidential conversation, you'll be surprised at how affordable it is to hire one of the top tax lawyers in the country. In many cases, it's as little as $500 per month for only a few months. Trust me, Sam Landis is the best. I'm passionate about this. Sam saved my life. The phone number is simple. 800-WE-HELP-YOU with the letter U. That's toll free. 800-WE-HELP-YOU with the letter U. Trust me, it will be one of the best things you've ever done. 800-WE-HELP-YOU with the letter U. 800-WE-HELP-YOU.
2 Orange County Sheriff's deputies shot and killed an unarmed man as he was surrendering last night in Central Florida. That according to witnesses. Sheriff Jerry Deming says his deputies thought the man was armed when they opened fire.
This was a tough situation. You know, the law enforcement officers who were engaged to the night, one of the things they said to me was, listen, Sheriff, we definitely tried to avoid having to use deadly force in this case. We just wanted the individual to comply.
The 2 deputies are on leave as the Florida Department of Law Enforcement investigates. Former porn star Stormy Daniels' attorney, Michael Avenatti, says it's important that his client's case be heard and not delayed.
It's about a cover-up, and it's about what the president knew and when he knew it, and I think that is at the forefront of what the American people should be concerned about.
A federal judge in California postponed a ruling on a request by President Trump and his personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, who is now the subject of that federal investigation for a 90-day delay of a lawsuit filed against them by porn star Stormy Daniels. This is USA Radio News.
Do you know someone with a drug or alcohol problem? Get help right now. Insurance may cover everything. Stop the drug and alcohol nightmare. Are drug and alcohol problems hitting you too close to home? Get help right now. Insurance may cover everything.
866-490-3991. 866-490-3991. That's 866-490-3991.
Police on Long Island on alert after threats linked to the MS-13 gang. MS-13 has allegedly threatened to assassinate police officers after the East Coast leader of the gang was arraigned on murder and drug trafficking charges. James McDermott, president of the Nassau Police Benevolent Association, says MS-13 is not just a local problem.
This is a societal problem. This is a national problem that we're having with this terrorist group.
Police say the threat was delivered to them by an informant. The U.S. State Department yesterday released the first human rights report under the Trump administration, revealing it replaced a section previously titled Reproductive Rights that focused on access to contraception and abortion in each country. The change from Obama-era policy involves the inclusion of a new section titled Coercion in Population Control, which includes issues like involuntary sterilization. Speaking to reporters yesterday, Ambassador Michael Kozak says reproductive rights was eliminated to prevent confusion.
It's not a diminishment of women's rights or desire to get away from it. It was to stop using a term that has several different meanings.
The Illinois Department of Public Health, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Food and Drug Administration, and other state and local health departments are expanding their investigation of a multi-state cluster of E. coli infections to include not only chopped romaine lettuce, but full heads and hearts of romaine lettuce. One case linked to the outbreak has been identified in Illinois. To date, 53 other cases have been reported in 16 states, with 31 hospitalizations and no deaths. For USA Radio News, I'm Rick Vincent.
Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0473. 800-245-0473. 800-245-0473. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0473.
Welcome to the Garden America Radio Show, the country's most listened to gardening program. This is your chance to talk about gardening, horticulture, landscaping, in fact, anything that has to do in the world of gardening. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or send us your questions and comments to john@gardenamerica.com. Now, here's Bryan, Maine, John Bagnasco, and Tiger Palafox on Biz Talk Radio and the Garden America Radio Network.
It is exactly 6 minutes after the hour for our friends on the East Coast. Good afternoon. Happy Saturday afternoon. For the rest of us, good Saturday morning. It is hour number 2 here on Biz Talk Radio, Garden America, live on Facebook. We have a viewer in Arlington, Texas, Kathy, who is watching us on Facebook.
She was a little bummed because all the talk about landscaping with food, and she's like, not so much.
She used to live in Chico.
Yeah.
So, Kathy, thanks for watching.
Would Chico be considered part of the bread basket or the, because, Central California is just known for all their farming and crops and food and all of that. Is Chico still part of that? They still have a lot of farms up in Chico, right?
There's a lot of orchards, like almond orchards.
Okay.
Or
so it's part
if
of
you're
that.
up in that area, almond.
Where we stayed at that bed and breakfast, and right in the back was a huge acres and acres of almonds, right?
Yeah.
Remember that?
And also walnuts, a lot of walnuts
right
up there, and pistachios.
And it's extremely hot, extremely cold. Both of those.
They love it.
Yeah, both of those. All right, so hour 2, what's on your mind? If you're watching us on Facebook Live, go ahead and type your question, your comment. You can email john@gardenamerica.com or 855-424-9825.
I think we need to have a little discussion because we had a comment from, I got an email from Kathy, and we had talked a little bit about, in passing, about blossom set. And so I thought, Tiger, what we should do is talk a little bit about how tomatoes actually set fruit.
Yeah.
And because this can become really involved, but as a general rule, let's say that if the temperatures are too cold, tomatoes won't set fruit. And if they are over, say, 85 degrees, the blossoms won't set fruit. So once it's too hot in the middle of the summer, you're not getting any fruit set. And if it's too cold, you're not getting fruit set. Now, when tomatoes are getting fruit, or the temperatures are correct for them to set fruit, one of the reasons you might not get fruit set could be because the plants aren't being pollinated. And tomatoes don't only rely on bees for pollination. You can also get a pollination fruit set from wind and by vibrations. So if you just go through and I know it sounds silly, but if you just take your plant and shake it, like grab it right below the flowers and shake it, you can set the fruit just by doing that.
Right.
There used to be, and I tried it myself and it worked, but then it just became ridiculous.
That little vibrating stick?
You get a tuning fork, and if you go out and hit a tuning fork and then touch it right behind where the flowers are attached, that would vibrate the flowers, and it would allow them to set fruit. And then someone invented the Veggie Bee, which was basically the same type of thing. It was a vibrator with batteries in it, so you could go through and do that.
I should remind everybody we're talking gardening.
We're talking, in case you're just tuning in. Yes. Because the vibration, the shaking all helps set the fruit. It helps pollinate.
Now, to discuss this a little bit further, heirloom flowers, heirloom tomatoes.
You have a caller?
There's a lot of varieties that have trouble setting fruit. And the reason they have trouble setting fruit, and Tiger, I don't know if you've noticed this, but the flower is double.
Right.
So it's more difficult to get the pollen to set. And those in particular are really helped by shaking the plant or using what you said, the artificial blossom set, to spray right into the flower.
I didn't know that made it more difficult.
Yeah.
I thought it would have made it more likely.
No, because there's so many petals in there. And as a matter of fact, now I'm getting all excited because I know what I'm talking about. But when if you look at heirloom tomatoes, you know how some of them are disfigured?
Yeah.
It's because of that double flower, and you're actually getting two tomatoes that form together, and that's why it looks like this giant tomato is kind of separate.
Okay,
because both parts of the flower have been pollinated.
It's kind of like a twin,
Yeah.
or a triplet,
Yeah.
kind of a thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's take a phone call. We got a phone call. Terry from Port Richey, Florida. Welcome to the show. Good afternoon to you, Terry. What's on your mind? How can we help you?
Hi, I have just a couple of questions.
Sure.
I just bought a home in October, and I'm now noticing that I have a lot more weeds than I actually have grass. And I'm wondering what kind of weed and feed I can put down to kind of like jumpstart and get my lawn growing back again. I do have an irrigation well, so it's sprinkler, everything works fine. It's just I need to get rid of the weeds to hopefully bring my lawn back.
Well, Terry, let me start off with saying, do you want a kind of lush green, single style lawn? Or are you okay with having what I call a park lawn, which is kind of a combination of grasses, not real uniform, but what you see at like a public park, because public parks, they really can't always have that perfectly manicured
They take
lawn.
a lot of beating.
Yeah, exactly. So what's your goal for your lawn? Is it to be that single style, maybe fescue lawn or whatever you kind of have in that area? Or do you not mind having a few other varieties of grass in there?
It doesn't matter. It's just right now my grass is brown, so I would like for it to be green.
Okay.
And get rid of the weeds.
And no weeds.
Because for those of you out there, I mean, if you have a weed problem lawn and you want that, estate look, you have to start from scratch. You have to kill the weeds, you have to scrape the soil, you have to lay down new seed or sod and start over from scratch. Now, if you don't mind a little bit of a park-style lawn, there are weed and feeds, different sprays that would, cure dandelions, oxalis, spurge, and maybe leave Bermuda grass and things like that in there. So that way you won't have the weeds, but you still get lawn, so to speak.
That would be good.
So it just depends. Okay.
But in order to do that, you do need to know what kind of lawn you have there right now, because in Port Richey, a lot of the lawns are St. Augustine lawns and some Bermuda-type lawns, and those require special weed killers because some of the weed killers will kill St. Augustine or Bermuda. So make sure you get a weed and feed that says for St. Augustine lawns or Bermuda or whatever it is that you have.
Yeah, because that's what I have is weeds and St. Augustine.
Okay. And you want to keep the St. Augustine or no? You want to get rid of it?
No, she wants the St. Augustine.
Yeah.
Right. But
I want to keep the grass, but I want to get rid of the weeds.
Right, and the nice thing about the St. Augustine is that it's pretty vigorous and creeps, so it will fill in once you kill the weeds. And if you go to your local garden center, you'll see that there are St. Augustine weed and feeds, and that's what you want to put on your lawn.
Okay.
And usually the best way to do that, you'll have to read the brand that you buy, but usually you water the lawn first so that it's wet. Then you take the weed and feed and you put it over the wet turf, because the way the weed killer works is by landing on a wet leaf and then killing through the leaf. If it gets washed off, like if you were to water after you put it down, the fertilizer would work, but not the weed killer.
Yeah, and then at your, back by you should have a brand called Fertilome, and they have a product called Weed Free Zone or Weed Out, which you can use on St. Augustine, but it'll get rid of the dandelions, clover, spurge, things like that.
Okay, what was the name of that again? I'm sorry?
It's Fertilome, and then the item is called Weed Free Zone.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, because I'm actually sitting in the Lowe's parking lot.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
So I won't forget.
Yeah, definitely. And then, if you have a chance, you just overseed. Once you get the weeds gone, overseed with some more St. Augustine seed or buy some flats of St. Augustine and let it grow. I mean, that spreads really quickly. But once you get the St. Augustine to take root, it'll naturally keep the weeds out, too.
Okay, great.
All
Thank
right.
you again. I appreciate it.
And Terry, thank you for listening, and give us an update. Let us know how things are going in a month or so, will you?
I sure will. I sure will. Thank you so much.
You betcha. Terry from Port Richey, Florida. So thank you for that phone call at 855-424-9825. Also, John at gardenamerica.com or right there on Facebook. And I think we've got a did you see Rick's question, either one of you guys?
I got it
I'll
right
tell
here.
you, my screen just went completely black.
Oh, no, John.
I mean, look at that,
I
Tiger.
know.
How can that
What?
be?
How could it be, John?
It be?
Rick was
I'm
asking,
going home.
though, does the continued addition of quality compost to the garden soil year after year balance out the need for additional soil supplements to increase mineral content, etc.? So when we get back from break, I'll touch on this idea that whether he's asking if I keep putting down compost, do I fertilize later on?
Okay. All right, Rick, thank you. We'll get to that when we come back from the break. And the rest of you also questions, comments right there on Facebook Live or John at gardenamerica.com. Pick up the phone like Terry did from Florida, Port Richey, at 855-424-9825. It is break time, Garden America, on your Saturday.
Battling bugs inside and out? Then it's time to get more from Bayer Advanced and Lowe's Home Improvement Stores. Now you can buy Bayer Advanced Complete Brand Insect Killer for soil and turf and get a free bottle of Bayer Advanced Home Pest Plus Germ Killer, a $9 value. Complete works outside on your lawn, eliminating surface insects, including mosquitoes, in 24 hours and soil insects for up to 3 months. While Home Pest Plus Germ Killer handles the bugs inside your home. Lowe's and Bayer Advanced. Get more from the blue bottle. Always read and follow label instructions.
Hi, this is gardening expert Melinda Myers. Keeping the environment in mind, I recommend Milorganite slow-release nitrogen fertilizer for all your growing needs. From plants to people, active growth requires energy, nutrients, and a balanced diet. Nutrient-rich Milorganite feeds the soil and plants for up to 10 weeks. The non-burning, non-leaching formula provides a slow and consistent flow of nutrients. Trust the fertilizer, proven effective for over 90 years. Milorganite for better results. Visit Milorganite.com for a garden center near you.
My computer is so slow, it's making me crazy.
I used to have that problem.
Did you quit using a computer or did you buy a new one?
No, I called Geeks On Site. They made an appointment to visit and showed up the same day.
You mean they didn't ask you to bring your computer to a shop? That's what when I called a support company.
Geeks On Site can go to your home or business or even repair your computer online. They have 24/7 emergency service.
If you are having problems with your PC or Mac, call Geeks On Site, 1-800-591-1682. Our friendly certified computer repair experts are available 24/7. Call now for a free diagnosis, 1-800-591-1682. Data recovery, virus removal, and maintenance for all laptops, desktops, printers, and networks. That's Geeks On Site for friendly certified computer repair experts, available 24/7 over the phone or in your home or business. Just call 1-800-591-1682. That's 1-800-591-1682, 1-800-591-1682.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If you're making the minimum payments, but your balance is just not going down, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it will take years to get out of debt, call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 5 million people. They can consolidate your debts into one lower payment, reduce your interest rates, and get you out of debt fast. If you're struggling with credit card debt, call Consolidated Credit now.
Call now, 800-350-3241. That's 800-350-3241. 800-350-3241.
Consolidated Credit Counseling Services Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33313. Not a loan company licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Maryland DM 19, Oregon DM 80031. Licensed by Virginia State Corporation. Commission license number DC 32. Establishment of a plan may adversely affect the individual's credit rating or credit scores. Non-payment of debt may lead creditors to increase financial charges or collections activity, including litigation.
If you're one of the millions of Americans who can't work because of a serious injury or illness, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. It doesn't matter if you've applied before and the government has said no. Let the experienced attorneys at Bill Gordon and Associates help you get the Social Security disability you deserve. Their team of attorneys have been fighting for benefits for people just like you for over 20 years. And best of all, there's There's no fee until you receive your benefits. There are many conditions that make you eligible, including some you may not even be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call Bill Gordon and Associates today for your free, no-obligation consultation. See if you qualify for the Social Security benefits you need and deserve. 800-470-4453. 800-470-4453. That's 800-470-4453.
Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or john@gardenamerica.com.
Thank you so much for making us part of your weekend here, Facebook Live, or perhaps you're streaming, listening to us on your favorite radio station in your market across the country. Thank you for being there, 855-424-9825. Also, john@gardenamerica.com and Facebook Live as we are answering a question from Rick on Facebook Live.
So before the break, Rick had asked the question, if I continue to use compost as kind of like a mulch or a top dressing, do I need to fertilize down the road? And this is kind of a hard question to the degree of compost doesn't always contain the NPKs that you may require in a particular yard. So the nitrogen, phosphorus, potash, which is what the basis behind fertilizer is. Now, what compost does contain is a lot of organic material which add to the soil and make plants be able to absorb those minerals and those elements to use. So compost will create mycorrhizae, add life, all of the stuff that the plant really needs to take up those fertilizers. So I would say in the almost just yard standpoint, flower beds, trees, and shrubs, adding compost is fine. You can do that in those areas. Now, vegetables and some of those producing crops, because you're working with the season and you want to make sure they have those elements available and those minerals available at the time they need it, it is good to continue fertilizing if you're looking for production. But overall yard care, just flower beds and shrubs and things like that, compost should be sufficient unless you see a deficiency down the road. Green veins, yellow foliage in plants and trees, that's an iron deficiency. An overall yellowing occurring throughout your trees or hedges, that's a nitrogen deficiency. And it's funny because you will see that. You'll see a hedge 60 feet long, and in the middle of that hedge, you'll see one plant that's yellowing out. You have no reason, you have no clue why.
Right, and I've seen
it's
that.
just not taking up nitrogen like the other ones are. So you would supplement that one. But if you did compost regularly, you probably wouldn't have that problem.
So the answer to Rick's question is
yes, in general gardenscaping,
right.
But in vegetables and fruit-producing plants, you do continue want to fertilize.
Then it also depends what part of the country you live in. If you're in an area that has relatively good soils, you can just keep adding the compost or something for the nutrient or the
mycorrhizum?
Not mycorrhizae.
Microbes?
Micronutrients? Microbes was the word I was looking for. It's just something to feed the microbes.
Okay.
Just as Tiger was talking about. But if you happen to live in where there's desert soils that are relatively low in nutrients, you may have to put in a few supplemental things until you can build that soil biology up to the point where it needs to be. If you live up in the Willamette Valley, like here in California, there's no such thing as topsoil. You've got
clay,
a quarter of an inch of topsoil.
That was gone a long time ago.
Yeah.
But the Willamette Valley, the topsoil is 30 feet deep.
Wow.
So, anything's going to grow up there. All you need to do is just keep adding compost.
You can get way ahead of the game just by understanding and knowing your soil to begin with before you do anything. Know what kind of soil you have. I think too many times people just, they plant, they're not sure, I have, sandy soil or it's kind of hard as clay, whatever. But like you said, it's going to depend on how you treat certain aspects of your lawn and garden by knowing what kind of soil you've got.
And if you're a gardener, if you're a gardener in the true sense of gardener, where you want to invest in your yard, if you buy a home in a track, you know that soil was brought in as fill dirt.
Yep.
They compacted it up to wazoo to make sure that the house doesn't shift and the roads don't move and you don't get all those problems. That the only way for you to be successful is bringing in
your own
inches and inches and inches of topsoil. Because the soil that they gave you in that, if you ever notice a house is always sitting about 6 to 8 inches above the yard in a new track home, and it's because they want to make sure that the house is always above the soil level. Number one, but number two, it's because they've compacted it so much to make sure, and they don't want the risk of that house shifting. And so, that's the worst, is digging in a brand new track home to try to put in irrigation lines or plant a tree. It is so hard.
And plants will not thrive in a compacted wazoo.
Right.
No.
Hey, I'm watching my language. Wazoo.
Compacted wazoo.
Yeah.
Which is not the same as a kazoo. It's a wazoo. Okay, 26 minutes after the hour. What's on your mind? 855-424-9825. Any email questions at john@gardenamerica.com, John?
No, not unless they came in when...
Oh, your computer went off.
Yeah, but my computer's back up.
Tiger got you back online.
Yep.
Facebook Live, by the way, too. Questions, comments.
I still don't know what Tiger did, but I really appreciate it.
Basically, he unplugged, shut everything off, and started over again.
Yeah, right.
He took the battery out, too.
To restart.
I'm not sure what that did.
Ever have a remote control at home, and it begins not to work? The stations don't quite... change when you want them to. It means your battery's going dead. So if you don't have a battery, you go in there, take the battery out, move it around, put it back in, and it works.
I'm so stingy with batteries. I wait until it's dead before I change.
So you probably do that a lot, move it around a little bit?
Yeah.
I remember, I don't know why this made me think of it, but when I was probably trying to think, I was over at my cousin's house, and I might have been... maybe 10 years old. My cousin was 9.
Old enough to know better.
And we were in the kitchen, and his mother was boiling something on the stove, and one of the neighbor girls happened to be over, and she was at the most 4. And of course, this is a long time ago. This is probably 55 years ago. But what was on the stove boiled over, and my aunt ran over to it, and she goes, oh, I had the heat on too high. It boiled over. And this little 4-year-old girl goes, it's the molecules.
Really?
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's the molecules.
It's the molecules. I remember at 10 years old being really impressed with that.
That's funny. So what I was going to mention, you had asked what's going on. When I was out and about this week with customers and clients, one of the biggest thing that was happening in people's yards right now were the kind of the development of things coming into flower, things that are now, the roses, full bloom. A lot of the hedges, hibiscus, all that stuff is flowering right now. And they wanted to kind of know how to keep the flowers. And I know with camellias, you don't fertilize during the flower because that kind of pushes them off. So a lot of people don't try to fertilize camellias while they're in their flowering cycle. But now,
the main reason not to fertilize camellias when they're flowering is because you don't fertilize them when they're dormant.
Yeah.
And when they're flowering, they're actually
dormant.
Right.
Yeah, because they flower most of the time in the fall.
Right.
Now, roses, though, do you continue your fertilizer cycle all the way through?
Absolutely.
And that'll keep
roses are
flowers
really
going.
heavy. Really heavy feed.
And I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that on our podcast, which you will not hear or see because we're going to record that and then going to upload that to the iHeartMedia radio podcasting.
That sounds like fun.
A lot of fun, John. Right now, we're going to take a break. It is almost 30 minutes after the hour with Garden America.
Shop Lowe's for deals to help you save on those outdoor projects popping up on your to-do list. For your lawn, get 50% off all Pennington One Step Complete. Pennington One Step is a grass seed mix that contains mulch, seed, and fertilizer to help you grow a dark green, drought-resistant lawn. Get yours today for 50% off. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's. Offer valid through May 2nd while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See store for details. U.S. only.
Biz Talk Radio is now available on Amazon Echo. Just add the Biz Talk Radio skills, then ask Alexa for the latest business news. You'll instantly get live, relevant information from the best business source. Biz Talk Radio. Alexa, open Biz Talk Market Tips.
There's no question you need omega-3s. But which form should you take? Fish oil or krill oil? Scientists have debated this for years. Luckily, there's a new solution to satisfy everyone. It's called Krill Omega 50 Plus. It combines ultra-pure fish oil and joint-soothing krill oil together in just one tiny pill. It's so powerful, it can promote the health of your heart and your arteries. And if that wasn't enough, it can also boost your joint comfort in just days. We're so sure Krill Omega 50 Plus will work for you. We'll even send you a free bottle to put to the test. The debate is over. It's not fish oil or krill oil. It's both. And now it's free. Just pay $4.95 for shipping and claim your free bottle. Call now.
800-834-4690. 800-834-4690. That's 800-834-4690.
As a small business owner, there's one word that you absolutely dread: payroll. For small businesses, it's a big burden. You may think you're saving time and money doing it yourself. But come on, are you? Timesheets, processing checks, calculating taxes, a total waste of your time. Paychex simplifies payroll processing, saving you time and money. Submit your payroll online, fax it in, or call your dedicated Paychex payroll specialist. And you're done. Learn more at trypaychex.com. Come on, do the math. The IRS dishes out 8 million penalties a year. Make one mistake, and you're on the hook. On average, you're losing nearly one business day every month doing payroll. That's time and money you'll never get back, unless you get Paychex. More than 500,000 small businesses already do. Call 877-649-5324. Trade payroll pressure for peace of mind. Call now. 877-649-5324. That's 877-649-5324.
If you're struggling to pay or haven't been making your student loan payments, listen carefully to this urgent alert. Have you been out of school for 10 or more years and you're still making your student loan payments? Are your student loans past due or even in default? Can't go back to school because of an old student loan problem? Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. One quick 10-minute call could help you solve your student loan problems. So call right now. Not available in all states. Payments may vary based on income.
800-685-0129. 800-685-0129. 800-685-0129. That's 800-685-0129.
We paid less for our Craftmatic today than we did 20 years ago.
If you're still searching for the perfect solution to a good night's sleep, call now for prices and free information on today's Craftmatic adjustable beds. And then decide when you see how little they cost. Rated #1 by consumers nationwide on ConsumerAffairs.com. Craftmatic beds come in all mattress types, including cool gel memory foam for up to 50% less than today's leading memory foam brand. Enjoy temporary relief of low back pain, poor circulation, nighttime heartburn, mild arthritis. You'll sleep better in a Craftmatic adjustable bed. So if you're still searching for the perfect solution to a good night's sleep, call now for prices and information. And then decide when you see how little they cost. Discover Craftmatic for less, up to 50% less than today's leading memory foam brand.
Call 1-800-316-5271. That's 1-800-316-5271. 1-800-316-5271. Call now.
Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Brian, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at GardenAmerica.com.
And, of course, questions, comments on Facebook Live as we continue on this Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon if you're on the East Coast. So thank you so much for tuning in and spending part of your weekend with us. 855-424-9825, john@gardenamerica.com, and, of course, Facebook Live with all your questions and comments.
So before the break, we were talking about the flowering plants right now going into flower and how to keep them flowering. And we were talking about some plants that want fertilizer during flowering cycles and then others that don't. And, you know, for the most time, for most plants now, spring, those plants are going to respond well to fertilizer.
They're waking up.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, encouraging with fertilizers is good to do. Roses, hibiscus, like I had mentioned, all your perennials and annuals and things like that are going to want, you know, heavy flowering. Now, you've talked about a phenomenon, not a phenomenon, a way of thinking, though, with flowers. You know, you'll see products like Ultra Bloom and Super Bloom that are heavy in phosphorus, and how, you know, you don't think that flowers respond to phosphorus like the way that they market the products, right? Now, you recommend an overall fertilizing is all that you really need for strong flowers, John.
Yeah, in general, I'm not a big fan of phosphorus. I don't think that our soils have plenty of phosphorus, and I think the plants are going to get all they need. It is true if you're using a water-soluble phosphorus that you can boost the blooming or the fruiting of plants a little bit. And if you have success doing that, that's fine. There's certain areas of the country, though, where you get a lot of runoff into lakes and streams and rivers, and too much phosphorus is just not a good thing for the environment. So in general, I think it's, you know, there's plenty of phosphorus in the soil, and the plants don't need extra. And we've also pointed out that phosphorus is actually poisonous to some types of plants, especially those from Australia or South Africa.
Right.
So you never use
native, kind of more Mediterranean
because
style
those soils there don't have phosphorus, so the plants have developed without it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, I wanted to ask you, well, a couple things. First, so I don't forget, when you were mentioning camellias, they're starting to go out of bloom now.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're using an organic food, it's okay to go ahead and feed now. But one thing you definitely want to do is rake up all the old flowers, because if you have camellia petal blight on your camellias, it's spread. There's a cycle that gets spread from year to year by the old flowers falling on the ground. So make sure you rake up those flowers. Then the other thing I wanted to ask you was, going around, have you, maybe because you're in San Diego, you didn't have this problem, but did you have any areas that had freeze damage when we got really cold, and how are the plants recovering?
So I only saw one situation with that, and it was a wisteria that came out early and then froze.
Wow.
And that was very noticeable, because for those of the people that know wisteria, they send out real long young shoots, and they're very tender.
Right.
They get affected by frost if they come out too early real quickly, and then they die back. It looks like somebody, like a gopher, got to it, where the plant just dries out. But that was the only case of frost damage that I saw. Roses and all the other stuff that kind of came out, they looked fine. I didn't see much of that. But I'm also was more coastal than you,
right,
where you guys in the inland valleys were more affected by that frost kind of a thing, than where I was.
Yeah, we had some tropicals that were really hit hard. The hibiscus, they're all leafing out now, but I have tip dieback. One of the reasons I brought it up was because people have been asking me, what do you do if your plants froze back, and should I cut them back? And I always recommend wait until they start leafing out so you can see how far you do need to cut them back.
See how much damage there really is?
Because a lot of my hibiscus, where the plants, I had one where the whole top of the plant, the leaves had frozen off.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was nothing but bare stems, but I don't have to cut that back at all because it's leafing now all the way up to the top.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. And I did have things like Stephanotis that froze to the ground.
Yeah.
That
those
was just a little bit too cold.
I wish we had more success with that plant. We have a question from Lenore, though, and she says, my tomato plant is getting yellow leaves, and they're in clay pots. She wants to know whether it's too little or too much water. Well, Lenore, I mean, if it's too little, you're going to see that drooping aspect and then the perking back up. So, it's too little water. You water it after it droops, and then it perks back up. Now, if it's too much, you'll see drooping, and then there's no perk back up. It just stays kind of drooping. Usually, if you water a plant that's drooping, within 6 to 8 hours, the plant is perked back up and is
unless it's a sun patience, and then it'll be 15 to 20 minutes.
But
in a clay pot, it's virtually impossible to overwater, as long as you're not letting it sit in a
saucer.
Right.
Or like some people will take their clay pots and put them on the soil, like in their garden, and they don't realize they clog that bottom hole and it doesn't drain out, and then water just builds up in the pot. So more likely than not, it's overall yellowing in a clay pot. It could be a nitrogen too. If you use
she needs some fertilizer.
If you use poor, if you use the old soil, then it was probably not a lot of nitrogen in it. And I don't know, a tomato plant, even if you were to use new general potting soil, so not an ocean forest, not a recipe 420, nothing like that. If you were to just use potting soil for a tomato plant, I'd say maybe 6 to 6 weeks, and it's used up all the nutrients in that soil and is needing some kind of supplement.
Now, I would say get some liquid kelp, mix it 2 tablespoons per gallon of water in a watering can, and pour it all over the leaves of the tomato and let it go into the ground. And do that once a week until it greens up. Within a couple of weeks, your plants will just take off.
Liquid kelp.
Liquid kelp, yeah.
Yeah.
Or some type of water-soluble plant food.
Mm-hmm. And, okay, that was Lenore's question. We talked about the flowering plants. I think we hit on everything. Oh, you talked about the camellias and raking things up. Now, another way to clean up, it's funny because you go to different people's homes, and some people leave all the debris at the base of their plants, and some people say, no, clean it all up. Roses are another one that, not so much the flowers, but the foliage. If you have things, rust, black spot, you need to get rid of that foliage, right? Because same principle that if you let those rust droppings go to the soil, you're going to continue to have the problem.
Pretty much.
So you always want a clean base at the rose base at the same time. Right. Citrus trees, though, people love to leave the litter at the base of a citrus and leave it as mulch. But you can have the same things like mildew on citrus, but usually that's caused by aphids and mealybug being there as well. So what do you recommend? Citrus trees leave at the base?
Do you mean mildew or do you mean sooty mold?
Sooty mold.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sooty mold is usually brought on by the mealybug or aphids and things like that. On citrus trees, do you leave foliage at the base also, or should you rake and remove that?
I don't know if it's that important with citrus. Definitely with avocado, you leave all the leaves on the ground. Citrus have a deeper root system, but avocado has a very shallow root system. So you want as much mulch as you can. That's why when you go to, if you build a house or if you're planting in an old avocado orchard, which I may be doing sometime in the near future.
Roots everywhere, right?
No, the soil is really good because they've left all the leaves there.
Yeah. Mm. And if it's an old avocado orchard, all that root mass, if they've removed, that's actually really good composted material in the ground too. The broken down roots and things like that in there. If they're new.
What was that we learned about last week from Melinda? That way of planting where you put logs in the hole.
I can't pronounce. I can't pronounce it, but she was talking about putting tree branches.
With an H.
Yeah. It was tree branches and logs and stuff like that, and just let it break down, and then you plant within that.
On top of it.
You can go back and watch last week's video.
Yeah,
it's all right there on our Facebook page, Tiger.
But that was an interesting theory, and it is true. A lot of those things have really good value in the soil. Most of the time, though, it's kind of difficult to work with because they don't move like you would want Like if you put a shovel through that,
oh,
you can't dig through a log or, putting a giant stick in there or something. But it's good to plant on top of it.
Hugelkultur.
That's it. Hugelkultur.
Hugelkultur.
Is it start with an H?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like huge, H-U-G-E.
Hugelkultur.
And then kultur is just K-U-L-T-U-R, and it's composting whole trees.
It is break time. We have one more segment coming up before we put the cap on this week's show, this week's episode of Garden America. Bryan Main, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox, again, going to step aside, 855-424-9825. Questions, comments, Facebook Live, or John right there at gardenamerica.com.
Do you have insects on your roses? Do you have borers damaging your trees and shrubs due to stress or the drought? This is Tiger Palafox with Garden America Radio. Fertilome Tree and Shrub Drench is a great product that will give you season-long protection against many insects. Fertilome Tree and Shrub Drench can act as a preventer or a curative for insects that suck, chew, or bore on your plants. This may be the easiest product to use. Simply measure, mix in a bucket, and pour around the base of the tree. One application can last up to a full year. Protect your trees with Fertilome Tree and Shrub Drench. Find it at your local independent nursery or fertilome.com.
Battling bugs inside and out? Then it's time to get more from Bayer Advanced and Lowe's Home Improvement stores. Now you can buy Bayer Advanced Complete Brand Insect Killer for soil and turf and get a free bottle of Bayer Advanced Home Pest Plus Germ Killer, a $9 value. Complete works outside on your lawn, eliminating surface insects, including mosquitoes, in 24 hours and soil insects for up to 3 months. While Home Pest Plus Germ Killer handles the bugs inside your home. Lowe's and Bayer Advanced. Get more from the blue bottle. Always read and follow label instructions.
Greece is cheap.
But the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
Not much closer, and again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-217-5107. 800-217-5107. 800-217-5107. That's 800-217-5107.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with it's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-285-4765 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-285-4765. Again, 800-285-4765.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right. Call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first-class tickets.
855-325-1769. 855-325-1769. That's 855-325-1769. Are you ready to leave your corporate job behind and be your own boss? Have you ever dreamed of owning a business? Do you have $50,000 or more sitting around in a 401k? If you answered yes, it's time to invest in yourself by buying or starting a business or franchise. IRS code allows you to use money in a 401k to invest in a business with absolutely no penalties or taxes. At Guidant Financial, we've helped more than 11,000 entrepreneurs invest $3 billion in retirement assets into the small businesses and franchises of their dreams. So if you've got $50,000 or more in a 401k and you're looking for a way to start a business, call Guidant Financial now for free information and to learn more. Operators are standing by for your call. 800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630.
Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Brian, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at gardenamerica.com.
It is Saturday, isn't it? Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, depending upon where you are in this country. East Coast, we say good afternoon to you. And good morning to the rest of us, Tiger. It is 51 minutes after the hour.
Hey, we were talking a little bit about some spring stuff before the break. And one of the things that I also did this weekend was I installed a demo of the Husqvarna Auto Mower. That's the robotic lawnmower. I brought in a month or two ago to kind of show, and it's a robotic mower. The best way to describe it is a Roomba for your lawn that, you know.
Same thing that's vacuuming your house, right?
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't vacuum, but it definitely cuts your lawn for you and does a great job. And what we were kind of talking about getting ready for spring right now is the ideas of weeds. And we were just talking with someone about weeds in their grass. A great way to stop weeds in general without doing any work is to making sure they never flower. And the one of the selling points behind the auto mower is because you're continually mowing your lawn almost daily. Mm-hmm. It never allows the lawn to get more, than whatever height you want your lawn.
Never allows the weeds to come to fruition.
Then never allows the weeds to come to fruition. So it'll stop the cycle of weeds because if they don't flower, they can't reproduce. Eventually, all the weed seeds that are in your lawn expire, rot. They grow into a plant, but they never allow it to reproduce. It doesn't work on things like Bermuda grass or crabgrass or St. Augustine, which spreads by roots or tubers or, nut grass or something like that. But dandelion, spurge, oxalis, it will definitely help your lawn over its lifetime. Keep those out. And I was thinking about it because I have a softball game for Tasia this afternoon, and the field that we were taught we play at is called Robb Fields, and it's a beautifully manicured
in Ocean Beach, beautiful place.
Yeah, great. But during this time of year, you see them mow the lawn a lot more often, even though when it doesn't need it, to stop those weeds from coming back. And it's a really good way to just not have to apply a product, not have to use a chemical or anything like that. It just stops the cycle of weeds. So thought about that.
And your mower, this product, it charges itself by itself.
Right.
It knows when it needs a charge. It goes back into its little charging bin, right?
Yep.
Does it cover the entire lawn? Do you ever have to go back and spruce up little areas?
So the only time I ever touch the lawn at my house where the auto mower is installed is when I'm edging it.
That's what I thought.
Because it doesn't edge the lawn, obviously, like it's just as a lawnmower. But I never have to hit any spots.
And you leave the clippings on the lawn?
Well, it cuts only a little bit of grass every time.
So it goes right,
automatically. You don't even see it.
It goes right into the lawn.
Yeah, which is good because lawn clippings are good for lawn. It helps you don't have to fertilize as much.
But not those big long trails we used to get as a kid mowing the lawn and have to rake it all up.
When you didn't want to empty the basket. Remember you just mow the lawn and think you can do the whole lawn with one basket?
Yeah.
And it would just trail all the grass.
We used to use an old Toro lawnmower.
Oh, yeah.
Toro. Gosh.
Did you ever have a push mower?
Yep.
Without the motor?
Absolutely. And then my dad said, you know what, since you're going to be doing the lawn, we're going to get a power mower and a Briggs & Stratton edger.
Nice.
Big old engine and
with a hard blade. You didn't use a weed whacker with a flexible.
No.
It was a hard blade where if you hit the concrete, it chipped out chunks of
Absolutely,
it.
and I had to wear glasses, safety glasses.
Wow.
Absolutely.
You had safety glasses?
Yeah, because
I didn't even have safety glasses.
Because not only that, but you hit rocks, the rocks flip up and hit you. And I'm probably 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, and I'm doing all this. I'm going to the gas station to get a mixture of gas and
oil mix.
Oil mix, yeah.
Yep.
You know, the whole thing.
2-stroke oil mix.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love those edgers. Just an open blade spinning out there for the environment.
Yep. Wow.
I wonder if they even make those still.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think everybody's converted over to a weed whacker.
Dale's got a question, I think, on Facebook Live, Tiger.
All right. Dale's asking.
Is Delilah's.
My Delilahs. My dahlias are coming up. Would feeding them a bloom fertilizer like General Hydroponics Flora Nona help give more blooms? So, dahlias are one of those things that are the spring bulb that, respond to fertilizer, but kind of like how John had mentioned, Dale, where he's at, you probably don't need to boost it with phosphorus or anything. What is it that you do with bulbs? Bone meal or blood meal?
The regular recommendations to use bone meal, but
right.
I
John
think,
doesn't agree with that.
No, I think bone meal is a complete waste of time.
Right.
And the reason is that it takes 3 to 5 years for bone meal to even begin to break down. There are some types of bone meal you can get that will break down quicker.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's more for the bulb aspect of it. That's not for the flower or anything like that. That's more for the taking care of the bulb.
Well, it's a source of phosphorus, so the same thing.
But that's
But if you're in an area where you've got acid soils, it's okay to use bone meal. But bone meal is also very alkaline. So in Southern California,
change your pH.
Where we have alkaline soils, you definitely don't want to use bone meal at all. But if you're in some of the areas where it gets probably better than adding lime.
Yeah.
So I guess it would be okay. But I don't think you're going to get a lot. The one thing about using any of those Super Bloom or water-type soluble fertilizers, Miracle Grow, those things are all going to make plants grow much faster than they normally
Abnormally fast.
And you've got to watch out for insects.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be attracting aphids using any of those kinds of fertilizers. So if it was me, I would just use a good organic fertilizer.
All-purpose.
Around the dahlias, and they'd be fine.
So when a plant grows that fast, the cell walls are thinner than they should be?
Yeah, and then the sucking insects like dahlias, it's a lot easier for their proboscis or sucker to pierce the cell wall and suck out the juices.
And there's more of it.
Because it's a thin cell wall because of the rapid growth.
Right, and they'll go to those plants rather than other plants with thicker cell walls.
It's like a neon sign blinking on and off.
Exactly.
Over here, over here, over here.
Yeah, and it's not just aphids, whitefly. Whitefly love those kinds of conditions. So that's just the way I would grow dahlias.
And if they've been in the ground for a while, they're good ones that are hardy grown, meaning, this isn't a brand. It's funny. Somebody asked me, just yesterday, somebody said, I never have success with hydrangeas. I go, hydrangeas?
Gosh, I just water, leave mine alone.
They're easy to grow. I don't understand. What's your problem? And I'm like, oh, you know why? And, not to throw names out there, but they were buying them from a big box. And they're full bloom. They were probably grown in a greenhouse where they're very tender, not ready to be outside. And this guy was planting them outside right away.
We got to get out of here. Hey, thank you so much for joining us on Facebook Live or streaming or your local radio station. For the entire crew, I want to thank Brandon, Jeremiah, Zach. I want to thank Tiger Palafox, John Bagnasco. I'm Brian Main. We'll do it again next week right here. Don't forget our podcast, iHeart Media, iHeart Radio. Till then, get growing America. Take care.